In the midst of the 20th century, the geopolitical landscape of Southeast Asia underwent a significant transformation with the division of Vietnam, an event that altered not only the country's future, but also the global political scenario. This division was primarily a consequence of colonial influences, ideological conflicts, and emerging Cold War tensions. The genesis of this tumultuous period can be traced back to Vietnam's struggle for independence from French colonial rule, which culminated in the First Indochina War, 1946 to 1954. As this protracted conflict drew to a close, the Geneva Conference was convened in 1954 to restore peace and determine the fate of the region. At the Geneva Conference, representatives from France, the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, North Vietnam, the State of Vietnam, South Vietnam, the United States, the Soviet Union, China, and several other countries deliberated over the future of Indochina. It was during these intense negotiations that the decision to divide Vietnam emerged as a compromise to prevent further escalation of the conflict. The partition of Vietnam was defined at the 17th parallel, a temporary measure intended to pave the way for nationwide elections and reunification. The North, governed by Ho Chi Minh and the Communist Democratic Republic of Vietnam, was heavily influenced by Soviet and Chinese ideologies and support. Conversely, the South established itself as a separate entity under the State of Vietnam, later the Republic of Vietnam, with significant backing from the United States and other anti-communist allies. This division set the stage for future hostilities and the eventual escalation into what is known as the Vietnam War. The ideological divide between communism and capitalism was mirrored in the political and economic systems of the North and South. The North's focus on collectivization and state control contrasted sharply with the South's leanings towards capitalism and Western-style governance. Although the Geneva Accord stipulated that nationwide elections should be held in 1956 to unify the country, these elections never transpired, leading to heightened tensions and eventual military conflict. The separation of Vietnam was not merely a geopolitical boundary. It was a manifestation of the global struggle between two competing worldviews. The division of Vietnam in 1954 thus stands as a significant historical event, resonating with themes of nationalistic aspirations, ideological contention, and superpower rivalry during the Cold War era.